Hey y'all, Hoplite here. Today we're going to be looking at a build to solo Kali with the exotic sidearm, Traveler's Chosen. Now I know sidearms are, well, sidearms, but I promise you, this one's a powerhouse. Some of y'all may have seen my videos on Twitter where we use the weapon to regenerate our super in under 30 seconds, which is wild and a ton of fun to mess around with, but I thought it over, and I realized we could take it one step further. So really quickly, let's take a look at this weapon. Now, don't get me wrong, the stats on the gun are pretty good, and the first of this weapon's exotic perks only makes them better. But that's not what we're focused on today. We're going to be looking at this item's second exotic perk, Gathering Light. The perk reads, final blows with this weapon grant stacks of Gathering Light. Consume stacks, granting melee, grenade, and class ability energy based on the number of stacks. Our goal here is to convert that extra ability energy into super energy to get our super back as quickly as possible. First up, our subclass choice. On a hunter, the obvious choice is bottom sheet golden gun, and your grenade, dodge, and jump are all up to the player's choice. Personally, I prefer incendiary grenades for the strong AoE and add clear potential, as well as triple jump and gambler's dodge for movement. There are two perks on this subclass tree to take note of. Practice makes perfect, which reduces our super cooldown with each precision hit, and knock 'em down, which gives a number of weapon buffs on precision kill, as well as increased super damage when the buff is newly active. As for our weapons, we of course have Traveler's Chosen, Trophy Hunter, our DPS special weapon of choice, and Falling Guillotine, which we're using both as our primary DPS weapon and a method for movement, but more on that in a bit. Now onto our armor and mods, which are the most important parts of our setup. Keep in mind that, aside from our exotic and one of our other armor pieces, we're looking for seasonal arrivals armor, as that's what's going to allow us to use the mods we need to make this build work. We're going to start with Celestial Nighthawk, our old faithful Goldie exotic. I personally try to max out intellect just in case the timing gets thrown off, and your super is taking a little bit long to charge, and I'd recommend you do the same. Also, of course, we're running Heavy Ammo Finder just to ensure we have heavy available as frequently as possible. For our gauntlets, we have an intellect mod and a void masterwork, allowing us to use the mod Energy Converter, which reads, while charged with light, using a grenade attack grants you super energy, consuming all stacks of charged with light. The more stacks you have, the more energy you gain, up to a maximum of 50% of your super energy. This is one of the most important parts of our build, as that boosts the super energy from our grenade throw is what allows us to get our supers back so quickly. Next up is the solar chest piece, which brings us the mod Supercharged, allowing us to get 2 more stacks of charged with light, bringing our total up to 4. These 2 extra stacks mean more super energy when we throw a grenade to activate Energy Converter. Looking at our boots, we've got an Arc Masterwork, and I personally go for Arc Damage Resistance, since most damage in this encounter is Arc after all. We've also got Sword Scavenger, for more sword ammo and heavy pickup, and Swift Charge, which lets us get stacks of charge with light on sidearm kill. This is the perfect mod for our build, since you'll be getting stacks of charge with light at the same time as you stack Traveler's Chosen's exotic perk, Gathering Light. And lastly, our Cloak, which is our only piece of legendary armor that isn't from Season of Arrivals, but rather from Season of the Outlaw or Forsaken Launch. This allows us to equip the mod Taken Barrier, which will go a long way to keep us alive during the fight when things get rough. In addition, I opt for Minor Resist, just to give us more survivability against the Taken Scions that are going to be running rampant. But the most important mods on our cloak are these 2. Enhanced Ashes to Assets, which provides us even more super energy on grenade kill. Between these 2 mods, our Charged with Light setup and Traveler's Chosen, we're constantly going to be throwing grenades and getting super energy back, setting us up to generate our golden gun way faster than ever before. So now that we've covered our build, let's get into the encounter. Keep in mind that this is a test run recorded prior to our solo, meant to show what a perfect phase would look like. As a result, you'll see that I'm still using swarm grenades, which I swapped for incendiary grenades during the final run later that week. As soon as we enter the arena, I check for all 3 symbols in the middle, find a side which has 2 adjacent symbols, or at least the part of the arena that has 2 symbols closest, and step onto the accompanying plate. From there, we're going to start to take up Thrall with the Traveler's Chosen, trying to build up as many stacks as possible before Kali visits the plate. When she arrives, we pop our Golden Fire for the head before returning back to killing the Thrall. Keep in mind that you may want to pop a few shots at your sidearm into Kali if she refuses to leave, as the damage she deals with her blast few will begin to add up. From here, we're trying to get as many stacks of Charged with Light and Gathering Light as possible, as quickly as possible. The Knight will spawn in, and will swap to Falling Guillotine to take him out, before moving to the next plate. From here, we're going to run and keep gathering stacks until we reach 4 stacks of Charged with Light and 10 stacks of Gathering Light. Once we reach the second plate, I wait until the nearest, easiest to hit ad spawn, and throw my grenade, consuming all our stacks of Charged with Light in exchange for the remaining super energy to hit 50%. We're going to hold reload to activate Gathering Light, and throw another grenade at the nearest enemy spawn, then continue to kill Thrall as quickly as possible to get as many stacks of both buffs as we can before damage fades. While you're doing this, be sure to try and land precision kills where you can to activate both Practice Makes Perfect and Knock them down as frequently as possible. This should speed up your super cooldown even further and offer you some nice handling buffs, even if Knock them down doesn't make it until damage. When the second Knight spawns, take it out, and move to the center of the arena to start damage phase. Now, once that Knight is down and you move to the center of the arena, check the 2 symbols above Kali's head. If only one is there, you're free to be in damage, but if there are still 2 above her, you're gonna need to use a small trick to avoid the wipe. As soon as your super is available, fire it at her, and then use your sword to deal as much damage as possible. Once the door is open, get inside, and wait for the scions in the middle to start multiplying. Again, check the symbols above Kali's head. If there's still only 1, you're free to continue damage. As you'll see here, I swap over to my sniper for damage, since the precision hits will grant me Practice Makes Perfect, increasing super regen. I missed a couple of shots here, but that's okay. Once there are enough scions in the middle, I throw my grenade yet again, reload to consume Gathering Light, then move for the doors. When the doors open again, I throw my newly funded grenade, giving me the rest of my super, and fire one last shot into Kali's head, before seeing that there are 2 symbols above her and moving to avoid the wipe. Now, when you get up to this section of the wall, face towards the jagged corner. Once the feed displays, Kali prepares to wield her weapon, counter for roughly 5 seconds, then swing into the wall. If you did it correctly, it should display joining allies, and you should get teleported just as Kali screams to wipe. The timing for this is extremely finicky, so if you don't get it on your first try, don't worry. And there it is! That's how you do a full damage cycle of Kali with this build. For those of you that want to see the clear, I'm going to go ahead and let the last third of my solo play out. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a thumbs up or subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what you think. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/thehoplite to watch me come up with things like this live. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.